Nadine, what is your short and long-term outlook for financial services M&A?
Well, I think for financial services, deal volumes and values have been down in 2012 versus last year, but I do think that the second half of the year will increase, and I think the outlook overall is positive and sort of trending upwards. I think there's just a lot of structural motivation right now in the financial services sector as it focuses around redefining its business model, an increased regulatory regime which is going to drive focus around strategy and choosing sort of where these businesses want to play, both geographically as well as from a business lines perspective. So that's all, I think, indicators of active M&A going forward.
And then in terms of asset managers, what sorts of new opportunities are they seeking, and how are you seeing them diversify?
The traditional asset managers are certainly sort of driving towards a scale model right now, and I think it's really adding assets under management to platforms to drive operating leverage as the business becomes that much more complex to drive margins out of. And so they're actively looking for acquisition targets, and I think they've got a ready set of potential targets as banks and insurance companies, which in large parts of the world are sort of the houses for asset management businesses, will continue to look at divesting of asset management businesses as a source of capital raising. I also think that on the alternative asset management side, we see certainly a focus around the growth in the alternative sector. So look for sort of, I would say, a strategy expansion on the alternative side as people add sort of, if they're a hedge fund, adding private equity solutions, private equity fund adding hedge fund solutions.
With all the political turmoil, economic turmoil worldwide, how are acquirers feeling about the push and pull between uncertainty versus opportunity?
There is enough motivation just coming out of the regulatory agenda and the capital raising and liquidity focus by many large financial institutions, banks and insurance companies in particular, that there's just going to be a natural dynamic around a strategy business model that will lead to M&A opportunities, so divestment opportunities. And then the flip side is that makes it a good acquiring market. And so certainly there's private capital that is looking to deploy into the sector. I think there's also some large global players that are looking to sort of focus and become a little bit more monoline around their strategy. And so these are great opportunities.